Hi everybody, this is Cami Turpin from Blue Hill Images. The admins and I for this group were just talking about doing some editing videos. We're specifically talking about skin tones and how you fix those and in both Lightroom and Photoshop. So I was going to do a quick editing video and give you some ideas of kind of how I mess around with it. There's a whole way to do it by the numbers with when you get this and stick right here and you know the exact numbers and everything like that, but I don't do that very often. Every time I've tried, it doesn't work for me. I guess I don't understand it. Anyway, so I'm just going to start with this senior of mine. This is a straight out of camera shot. As you can see down here, I have the same one edited, but I'm going to start from scratch here. I actually used a small preset here, and then I used Romantic, I think. All right, so that's with the preset on it. It didn't, oops, that's the wrong one. Go back here. It doesn't obviously look like the one that I'm finished with, but here we go. I pulled the temperature up quite a bit on this one. I believe I upped the clarity a little bit, brought up the highlights, and down the blacks. One thing, so in this case, you see, I want the whole thing to be pretty warm, but this makes her look pretty orange. So as I've done that, I like everything else. I like the way the green looks. Okay, I think I might actually come down and go to the yellow here and make it a little greener. There, I like that grass. All right, but she still looks a little orange to me. Her face does. So all I'm going to do, now that I have the rest of it the way I want it, I might even want it a little warmer. Actually, I'll do something else there. What else I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this brush here, adjustment brush, and I'm going to, oh, I already did it. I'm going to bring down the temperature just in the brush. So then I come here, just brush it on her. She starts looking a little more natural. You can see what you're doing if you want to with your little mask overlay if you want. Oops. You can undo that, but I don't think it will matter. So she looks a little better. I actually think a little blue. Like, see, I can make her look super bad. So I can adjust just her now, just her temperature without adjusting the background. I can even kind of have her almost exactly the same, but then come down here to the saturation, pull that down a little bit if I feel like that helps. See how if I go way up high, she's super orange. Bring down the saturation just a little bit, and some of that orange is gone. And you can see if that looks any better just by turning it on and off right here. So that's what I really like doing, but if you're a Photoshop person, I'll show you how I would do that in Photoshop. Oh, but one quick thing. So in some of my pictures, you can see down here, like, there's this awesome orange sun glow. I did not put that in. This was just straight out of camera. Pretty amazing. But let's go back to this one. I want that in this picture too, but I blew out the sky a little bit here. So one thing I can do is take a radial filter and just, all right, so that changed everything because it's still, I'm going to zero that all out, invert it so it's only what's inside my circle. And then I'm just going to bring up the temperature a little bit too much. You can adjust the exposure a little. And then let's change the shape of it. Let's see if I even like that. Yeah, so now it kind of looks like these other ones. Gives a little sun glow that was actually there, so I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just adding in kind of what I saw there. All right, so then if I have decided she looks a little too orange, let's just bring up the whole thing so she does. Then I can take this into Photoshop. What I like to do is right click, edit in Photoshop, and it will just open Photoshop for me. Hope you guys can hear me. My sound has been a little off, and this takes a little while to open. Just opens it for you. Make her a little bigger. Oops. Okay, so then what you can do is I would, this whole background is a little bit orangey for me, but we're just doing it to make her look super orange. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. Then I'm going to come down here and make a selective color layer. I'm gonna do yellows. I think that will help. Now, I'm gonna ignore everything except her face right now. So I can just kind of play around. I actually like what that did to the to the grass. Bring down the yellow. You can see how that already is fixing. And then if you bring down the blacks, it just brings down the opacity there. No. And I just kind of play around with it until I like her skin. I'm going to also switch to reds and see if I can change that a little bit. Okay, so let's say, this isn't perfect, but let's say I kind of like that skin tone, but I don't like what it did to the background, right? I just want to keep it on that. So I'm going to come down here and make a layer mask. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm not very good at Photoshop. I hardly use it anymore. Okay, so I've made a layer mask and I'm going to invert it. Okay, I did the wrong one. Oh, you guys, I'm not good. I'm not good. Angel is like, idiot. Okay. Let's go back to that. Okay, so now everything I did is erased, right? And I've made this little selective color thing black. I keep going back and forth because I'm just fumbling around. But now if I want to paint on what I just did, I just have to have the opposite color here on top. So my foreground is white. My background here on the selective color mask, or the layer mask, is black. I'm just going to take my paintbrush, paint on her. Ta-da! Took all that crazy color off. Can do as much as I want. Maybe her hair a little. And I remember that I kind of liked what it did to the green. I'm just gonna do that whole thing. Might have been easier to go the other way and just paint on up there. But anyway, so then you can see the huge difference that made. Now, if I feel like that's pretty good, I like this, but I want to do some more stuff in Lightroom. This is magical. I just save. And it shows up in Lightroom. Here it is. Now I've lost track of I've lost track of which one, but this is it. This is the one I just did. This is the one we had before. Super orangey, and then this one. So then I might, you know, like do a little clarity more, or bring down the blacks a little. I might even mess here with the curves. Ooh, that's fun stuff. Maybe a little too much. Anyway, so you get the idea. So sometimes I like to take it into Photoshop, do something just a little, and then bring it back into Lightroom and fix it up a little more, just because I am way better at Lightroom, as you can see by my fumbling around in Photoshop. And that's that. I hope that helps you with your skin tones, gives you a couple ideas. Oh, I didn't even show. So one other thing that I really like to do with skin tones is, I did show the HSL panel before, but you can come down to here and just mess around just with the saturation of orange. See how that makes a huge difference. Sometimes I will do that, or just red if I feel like there's too much red. So you can also do that in using the selective color and things like that in Photoshop, but it's kind of nice if there's just, you don't care too much about the rest of the background, but you just really think there's a little too much orange in their face, you can just pull it down. In fact, if you come back to my original one, all of the colors are being messed with right there. But this whole thing just needed to come down. And then you can pull out some of the orange if you want. So there you go. There's some ideas. I hope that helped out with your skin tone issues, which we all struggle with, I think, unless you're master skin person. I don't know who. I don't know, Meg Lukes maybe. Anywho, there you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.